Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's market outlook. I'm Edmund here. So, yesterday we saw the US dollar index finding reasonable support at 92.46 levels, and then after rebounding back up for a mild recovery. So, the US dollar is going to be trading in a consolidation phase, leading up all the way until tonight's non farm payrolls data at 8:30 p.m. local, Singapore, and Malaysia time. So before we have a look at tonight's non-farm payrolls data, let us have a quick look at the other economic data and events coming up for today. For today, we're going to be kicking off the European and UK trading sessions with the German industrial production data and also the trade balance numbers at 2 p.m., followed by the French industrial production numbers and also the French trade balance numbers at 2:45 p.m. local, Singapore, and Malaysia time. Towards 3:30 p.m., we're going to be having the UK Halifax House Price Index numbers, excuse me, and at 4 p.m., we will be having Italy's trade balance numbers. Again, all eyes will be focused on tonight's event where the US will be releasing the non-farm employment change data. For the month of June, for the month of June, 4.8 million jobs was created, and for tonight's non-farm payroll data, markets are expecting the numbers to come in at 1.53 million jobs being created. So, well, it's going to be a bit of a, how to say, touch and go in the sense that 2 days ago, the ADP non-farm employment change numbers came in at only 160,000 jobs being created versus expectation of 1.2 million jobs being created. So yeah, it's going to be pretty borderline whether tonight's numbers will be above market expectations or below market expectations. Okay, so we have a look at the unemployment claims also for yesterday. Before we have a rough figure of what is coming up tonight. So other important economic data coming out tonight would be the average hourly earnings and also the U.S. unemployment rate. For the month of June, the unemployment rate numbers came in at 11.1%, and tonight's forecast is for the numbers to drop to 10.5%. So again, any numbers which is improve or better than 10.5%, let's say it comes in at 9.8% or so, theoretically it should be positive for the US dollar. Okay, so the final economic data coming out for tonight will be the final wholesale inventories numbers coming out at 10 p.m. Okay, so again, we expect markets to start to form some chart patterns and be ready for certain movements towards 2 to 4 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, and also towards 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, so again, let us have a quick look and see what happened to the US dollar yesterday. So for yesterday, the US dollar again managed to find very good support levels at 92.465, and this was the previous support levels achieved on last Friday. Last Friday it was trading at about 92.50. Okay, over here last Friday, 31st of July, and 2 days ago it was also touching these support levels at 92.53, and then rebounding up, and no different yesterday. I was expecting it to break the 92.50 and even go towards 92.40. However, it just went to 92.46 before having a decent recovery, and is currently in a consolidation phase. Okay, so yeah, yesterday's unemployment claims numbers came in at 1.18 million versus market expectations of 1.4 million. So theoretically, it was positive for the US dollar, and to a certain extent, the US dollar reflected this positive unemployment claims numbers by actually moving up as early as this one. Okay, 1000 hours, which is plus 5 is 15, which is 3 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. The US dollar strengthens back up. Okay, so of course at 2 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, it went down to test the support levels, and then after it rebounded back up pretty strongly. Okay, so yeah, so yesterday's unemployment claims data, which was announced at 8:30 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, again showed that the number of US citizens filing for social benefits or unemployment claims fell to 1.186 million. So based on yesterday's latest unemployment claims data, it seems like there is some optimism that tonight's non-farm payrolls numbers will come in, well, I guess more or less in line, or maybe even surpassing the 1.53 million mark. Okay, so but regardless of the result of the data, keep an eye on the technical charts, as the technical charts will tend to indicate the direction of the movements even before the results are announced. Okay, so as mentioned just now, tonight's focus will all be on the non-farm payrolls data at 8:30 p.m. And well, although written here again, it's expected that the actual jobs created will slow down due to the spike in COVID-19 cases across the US. However, again, yesterday's unemployment claims data, which came in well below market expectations of 1.4 million, could add some optimism to tonight's jobs data. Okay, so yeah, so the jobless rate is going to be expected to come in at 10.5%. So we will have a look and see what happens tonight. Okay, so let us have a quick look on the technical charts. Again, we saw the US dollar index trading on in the consolidation phase on the 4-hour charts, and also back on the 1-hour charts, it is still consolidating. So the current support levels will be at 92.50 levels, and towards the upside, we are looking for it to go towards 93.06. Okay. Yeah. So of course, if tonight's on-farm employment data, well, if tonight's data has a major impact on the US dollar, it could possibly break up towards higher levels of over here, 93.43. Or if it breaks down, we are looking at a strong support at 92.40. Okay, so we'll see how the numbers go. So looking at yesterday's movements, again, the US dollar was generally bullish yesterday. It was trading in a very tight consolidative bullish range, and we do see the UK pound trading in a very tight consolidating bearish flag. Okay, so here we go. Okay. So at 2 p.m. yesterday, the UK announced their monetary policy statement, and this, in a way, pushed up the UK pound again exactly at about 2 p.m. 9 plus 5 is 14, which is 2 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. The UK pound moves up from 1.3128 all the way to a high of 1.3183. Not really a major move. It just went up 54 pips. Okay, and after that, it kind of went a bit soft and quiet and consolidated in a bearish flag all the way down. Okay, so it was just trading within the 64 pip bearish range throughout the session yesterday. Currently, it has gone also a bit quiet, but the general direction is still on a slightly bearish note, pending later on in the afternoon and the evening whether the price will break up from this bearish downtrend or break through these support levels. Okay, if it manages to break to the downside, we could see it coming towards 1.3100 levels, which is just 30 pips onto the downside. And if it does move up again, we are looking for it to test yesterday's high of 1.3185, which is about 50 pips to the upside. Okay. Euro dollar also, yesterday we saw the euro dollar couldn't break through this resistance, which was tested on last Friday and also on 2 days ago. Okay, on Wednesday. Okay, so this is the immediate resistance at 1.19001, and currently it is also finding it difficult to pass this resistance, but there could be a high chance that it could break up. And if it does move up, the next target price would be 1.1916, which is about 52 pips to the upside. And moving to the downside, we are looking at okay, to the downside, we are looking at about 1.1838, which is about 30 pips to the downside. And if it's a more severe move down, we could see it going down back to the 1.1798 levels, okay, which is about 70 pips to the downside. Moving on to gold prices. Gold prices again is still very much in a bullish run. For yesterday, it keeps on touching the bullish uptrend line and keeps on going up. So it started to move up from 8 a.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time from 2036 levels to high of 2053. This was the first move, going up $17. Consolidated, pulling back down about $12, and then after at about 4 p.m. moves up again from 2040 all the way to a high of 2069. Okay, so the second move was moving up $29, and can technically say there was a third move. Actually, it was this morning, the Asian trading session. This one at 6 a.m. It moved up from 2061 until a high of 2075. Okay, so currently again the gold prices are still very much bullish, but tonight's non-farm payrolls data may provide some whether provide more fuel for it to go further up a little bit, or it could push it down for a consolidation phase. Okay, so towards the downside, we are looking towards the support levels of 2047 US dollars, which is about $20 to the downside. And of course, to the upside, we are looking for it to test again 2075 US dollars, which is about $8 to the upside. Okay. So moving to silver prices, silver also was bullish yesterday, started to move up over here at 8 plus 5 is 13, which is at 1 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. Silver prices moved up from $27 all the way to this morning's high of $29.75. Okay, so again, the major drivers for gold prices going up, partly is the ongoing COVID-19 situation, and its unexpected, uncertain timeline when it will end or when things will start to stabilize. Number two, governments around the world, especially the U.S. government, is still looking to pump more quantitative easing, pump or print more money, and provide more stimulus programs for the U.S. economy. So the first half of this year, the US has printed more than 3 trillion US dollars in money, and also in other words, they have taken on more than US 3 trillion in debt to sustain the economy and to help the local citizens. Okay, so again, currently the US and the White House and Congress are in negotiations to add a further 1 trillion US dollars onto the debt program. Okay, so this is all causing a lot of worry and concern in the middle to long term on how the US is going to repay back these trillions of debt. Okay, so that has largely pushed up gold prices and also silver prices. So looking on at oil prices is in a consolidation phase for yesterday, trading to a high of 42.62 and a low of 41.88. So it was just a range of about 74 cents. Okay. So last but not least, the S&P 500 has been also on a slight consolidation phase, and yesterday it managed to push up higher to 3,347 levels. Okay, so watch out for tonight's non-farm payrolls data, and be ready to analyze or even take a trade as early as 7 p.m. If it doesn't really move at 8:30 p.m., the move could come at 9 p.m. or even 10 p.m. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good trading day ahead, and I'll see you again on Monday. Have a good weekend. Take care and good trading.